Prince Harry, U.S. authorities have begun quietly pulling back on his private protection arrangements in the wake of his crushing defeat in the UK High Court against RAVEC, Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures. It's the kind of public embarrassment that leaves the Sussexes, and particularly Meghan Markle, scrambling behind the scenes to salvage their crumbling American empire. The illusion of influence, relevance, and global impact they've carefully cultivated since defecting from royal life is unraveling fast. The fantasy is over. America, it seems, is finally waking up and stepping back. This moment marks a defining collapse in the Sussex narrative, a narrative primarily engineered by Meghan Markle, whose relentless ambition has dragged Harry deeper into irrelevance. The court's dismissal of Harry's bid to challenge the Home Office decision on publicly funded police protection in the UK sent a clear, judicially sanctioned message. You left, you lost the perks. And now, in a swift domino effect, sources close to U.S. security circles suggest that key players in private protection who had been influenced by Harry's royal status are reconsidering their association amid legal and political sensitivities. In short, the RAVEC ruling has delegitimized Harry's status not just in Britain but globally. His royal status is not above the law, and without state-level endorsement, even America sees little reason to extend courtesy protections that imply diplomatic stature. To understand the scale of this blow, one must grasp how hard Harry fought and failed to maintain the illusion of institutional relevance. His legal war with RAVEC was not just about bodyguards. It was a desperate attempt to validate his standing as a quasi-royal on the world stage. His argument? That he remained a figure of global importance deserving taxpayer-funded UK security. The court's response? Brutally unsentimental. In the words of the High Court ruling, the claimant is no longer a working member of the royal family and does not fulfill public duties on behalf of the crown. A stark, legal reality check. The impact on U.S. soil is already being felt. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, which typically coordinates with private firms providing VIP protection, is reportedly reviewing the Sussexes' classification in its threat assessment protocols. Several security consultants, particularly those with prior contracts in Washington and New York, have indicated a distinct cooling off. It's simple, one said, if the UK won't recognize him as a working royal, why should we bend the rules here? Meghan, who has long styled herself as a global humanitarian and modern American royalty, is suddenly discovering that influence without institutional backing is just celebrity posturing. And therein lies the deeper story. Meghan Markle's American PR machine is beginning to implode under the weight of its own contradictions. Since 2020, the Duchess of Sussex has positioned herself as a moral compass for a fractured world, a feminist, anti-racist trailblazer, a victim of the monarchy's cold traditions. Yet as the legal failures mount, the Netflix numbers drop, and the Spotify deal crumbles into nothingness, a more sobering picture emerges, that of an opportunist who overplayed her hand. What's especially telling is that the narrative now turning on Harry is one Meghan herself helped build. She was the architect of their freedom flight to Montecito. She convinced a man born into 1,000 years of royal legacy to abandon it all for podcast deals, docuseries, and staged photo ops at food banks. The problem? Meghan sold Harry on a version of America that only exists in vanity press releases. In reality, power here comes from influence, not grievance. And when you lose your institutional power, as Harry now clearly has, you're just another celebrity fighting for a headline. And increasingly, America has moved on. The failure of the RAVEC court case is also financially catastrophic. Harry must now foot not only his own legal bills but may be liable for the UK government's court costs. Add to that the astronomical price of maintaining private security in the U.S. without institutional backing, estimated at $2 to $4 million per year, and the walls of Montecito's faux palace begin to close in. Without taxpayer-funded security and without the royal seal of legitimacy, Harry and Meghan are fast becoming political and logistical liabilities. This would explain why Meghan has accelerated her solo brand-building ventures, recently announcing a new lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, that appears more Gwyneth Paltrow than Grace Kelly. Insiders say it's a calculated pivot. Meghan is preparing for a post-Harry era. The brand, focused on jams, candles, and tableware, screams desperation, a last-ditch bid to recapture attention as Hollywood begins to view the Sussexes as past their sell-by-date distractions. And let's not forget, the couple is no longer in demand on the A-list party circuit. Where once they dined with Clooney's and Obamas, they now struggle to headline even their own pseudo-charity galas. This entire unraveling is as much a personal defeat for Meghan as it is for Harry. Her political ambitions, whether whispered Senate aspirations or vague global leadership goals, are now untenable. Her credibility as a media figure is in question. And her husband? He's becoming a legal pariah. From immigration concerns after admitting to drug use in his memoir to security downgrades, Harry is looking less like a protected dignitary and more like a tabloid regular with too many lawsuits and not enough allies. What remains of the Sussex brand is a toxic cocktail of entitlement, failed litigation, and overexposure. The RAVEC judgment has not just denied Harry police protection, it has stripped bare the couple's entire strategy. They are no longer protected royals. They are not elite politicians. They are not cultural tastemakers. They are, at best, over-leveraged celebrities whose moment has passed. In the end, Meghan's master plan to elevate Harry and herself into a new American monarchy has collapsed under the weight of reality. With the U.S. backing away from informal protection arrangements, the Sussexes are increasingly isolated. No royal status. No security guarantee. No lucrative new contracts of note. No widespread public sympathy. Just two individuals who mistook media buzz for permanent power, and now finally the world is watching them fade. The curtain is closing and the applause has long stopped. As the Sussex brand unravels, Harry is reduced to a cautionary tale, a prince who traded duty for dysfunction, dragged into obscurity by Meghan's insatiable pursuit of relevance. Without royal privilege, without public favor, and now without dependable protection, they are exposed in every sense. Meghan's empire of illusions is crumbling, and Harry is left in the wreckage, stripped of title, status, and security. The fantasy is dead. America, once their promised land, is turning away, no longer amused, no longer invested, and certainly no longer protecting their delusions of grandeur.